Hey, it's Phil. In this GoHighLevel funnel tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a funnel in GoHighLevel right from the very beginning. Now, whether you're creating a lead generation funnel or a sales funnel, it's the same exact process. And if you want to save a bit of time, I've actually pre-created a funnel, which is this one right here. It's got 4 steps. The opt-in page, which looks like this, and it's also got a bridging page, it's got a checkout page, and it's also got a thank you page. So if you're someone looking just to get a funnel up and running quickly, I'll leave that template down below, but what we're going to be doing is building this exact template inside of this video. Now, if you haven't yet got GoHighLevel and you're thinking about it, I've also got an exclusive 30-day free trial. Plus, I have a bonus course called the GoHighLevel Accelerator. It comes with snapshots, templates, and step-by-step videos. So if you want to grab that, make sure you get that 30-day trial link and the course for free using the link down below. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Now we're going to follow off the video that I have just released, which is actually talking about how to get set up on GoHighLevel properly. If you are brand new to HighLevel and you're still trying to set things up, make sure you go and watch that video. I'll link it down below. But let's go ahead and continue. So the first thing we want to do is come to sites on the left, make sure you're in funnels, and then go ahead on the right and click new funnel. Inside here, we've got a few options. You can either use a template, you can use funnel AI, but for this example, we're just going to start from scratch as my funnels are quite plain, but that's on purpose as I don't want to distract them from all the glitz and glamour that people like to put in. So for this example, I'm just going to call this the YouTube demo, right? So something I can easily remember. Go ahead and click on create. And now what it's going to do is build the shell so we can actually start building out the steps in our funnel. So the first thing you want to do is go ahead, click add new step or import. For this one, I'm just going to call this the YouTube opt-in, okay? And for the path, I'm just going to keep it also simple. YouTube, I'll just call it YouTube freebie, right? Something that is, it doesn't say opt-in. Opt-in sounds a bit too technical. This is going to be the URL basically where you can send people to. Now, if you are an old ClickFunnels user, or if you are someone that likes some of the ClickFunnels templates you've seen around the internet, you can actually import people's funnel links in here and it's going to be recreated inside of GoHighLevel. Just note you can't actually use their assets. So if you are using this method, make sure you change everything inside of that to make it your own and not have any information from the creator. So let's go ahead, create the funnel step. In just a few seconds, we are going to have our funnel template ready to rock and roll. So here we are, we've got 2 options here. We can either use existing, if you've already created funnels inside of your account and you want to model all of the settings inside of there, which is like the fonts, the colors, things like that, you can definitely model what's already there, but let's start from blank for this example, just so I can show you how to actually use all of the elements and rows and things like that inside of HighLevel. Okay, so here is our first page canvas. Now, the first thing we need to do is add in a section. So you can decide whether you want a full width all the way down to around half width, which is a small. So what I recommend, if you're having maybe 2 or 3 columns inside of your page, maybe going between full width or wide. If you're just going to have a single column, 1 row of everything, then you can go either medium and small. So what I'm going to do is start off with small. So I can either click it or drag it in like so. So go ahead, click it. Now it's added into our page. Now we can easily change later on if we wish by going to the advanced tab and changing it inside of here. So the next thing we want to do is click on add row and you can choose how many columns you want in it. As it's small, I'll just stick with single. And now we can click one more time for adding an element. And the first thing I'm going to do is add in a paragraph. So inside here, I'm just going to type in free video training reveals. And I always like to give a little bit of a teaser of what's coming next. So if someone lands on my page, they know the format they're going to get, whatever they're exchanging their name and email for. So in this case, it's a video training. And they're also going to learn what it's actually about. So first of all, I'm going to get the text. I'm just going to make it bold by clicking B, highlighting everything, pressing the B for bold. And then I'm going to come to letter spacing and put 1, just to give it a little bit of spacing so it looks pretty cool. Now we have got quite a bit of padding here at the top. I sort of want this to be a little bit more at the top of the page. So I'm going to click the orange first to see if there's any padding. There's nothing. So I'm going to go to the row level. I can see there's 15 in here. So I'm just going to reduce that a bit. And now it's brought it up. I'll also reduce below it as well, just to make it a little bit nicer. So that's pretty cool. That's the first part of the page. The second part we're going to do now is the headline, right? This is going to be the call to action. And I might even just bring it down a little bit so you can see it's quite tight there. So click on the headline, scroll down. Under padding, maybe give it 10. That's pretty good. Maybe I'll just go 5, not too much. That looks pretty good. And what I'm going to do in here is type in basically something captivating enough about what I'm actually going to give them that the person that lands on this page wants to give me their name and email in exchange for this information. And as they know it's a free video training, what can I give them that's a free video training that will make them want to put in their name and email? So I'm going to put in here the simple, actually I'll just keep it quite generic. Step system that built my amazing business, and then in brackets, even as a beginner, right? So everyone's always trying to start something online, and you can change this basically to whatever you want. It could be, you know, the 3-step system that built my, hairdressing business, or whatever it might be. And I like this text, but it doesn't really light me up completely. So what I'm going to do is go to typography, and let's have a look what kind of fonts I can get inside of here. So for this particular example, I've been seeing a lot of people use a font called Plus Sans Jakarta, which is actually, maybe I'll just type in Jakarta. I've been really liking it lately. So here it is. And it looks pretty good so far. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now we can change all the colors and everything in a sec. In fact, I'll show you right now. So what I'm going to do is highlight the text that I want to change the color of. And of course, you want to use your branding colors. So for this example, I'm just going to choose a green. And then I'm also going to choose a blue. And this just makes the text pop out a little bit. Okay, so that looks pretty good so far. Now what I'm going to do below this is give a call to action. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to do a subheading, right? And what I'm going to type in here is click the button below to gain access to the free video training, right? So if someone sees the headline, they read it, they're interested, they read the next line, which is basically telling them what to do. So down here, we'll go through the sizes and everything in just a second. But because we're doing a video training, I like to have an image of what the video is. I like to put a play button on the top of it, so it looks like it's the actual video. And if someone tries to click on it, it's going to open the pop-up. So what I'm going to do is do just that. So I'm going to type in image, right? Image element, just drop it in below. Okay, so that image element has now been there. So if you want to add an image, it's really simple. Just come down to the right, you can see image options. Click on this little image icon, okay? And then we can go ahead and upload an image. So I'm just going to choose one from my computer real quick. All right, so that's now loading. So here it is. Go ahead, double click on it, and boom, here is the image. Now, what I recommend you do, in fact, we'll go through some settings in just a second. I'll just put all the elements in here to start with. Okay, so the next one we're going to do is actually button, okay, because we obviously need them to click a button to somehow open the pop-up, which we're going to give, so then they can put in their name and email. Right, so this is what we've got so far. And the last thing we need is generally a place where they can check things like your privacy policy. If you are taking people's names and emails, you actually need to have a privacy policy. And to do that, what we're going to do is click on the plus at the top left, come to sections one more time. And this time we can use maybe a wide one because there's quite a lot of text. In fact, we'll go full screen. So I'll come to advanced and go full. And what I'm going to do is make this full section black. Okay. I'm also going to spread it out. So what I might do is, I think the easiest way would actually be to come back to the green, which is the top section, and I will put a margin below it of about, I don't know, 150. Oh, that's 1500. 150. So now it's pushed it down a little bit. So we've got a little bit of space to breathe, which is good. And inside here, we're going to add another column, and then we're also going to add in a paragraph. And inside here is basically going to be our text about our privacy policy. If we're running ads, talking about how we're not associated with the ad platforms, things like that. So to save a bit of time, I'm just going to copy and paste one that I have from the template that I created earlier. Okay, so I'm just going to paste that in here like so. So there it is there. And highlight the text, turn it white, and that's looking pretty good. Now it's got quite a bit of spacing once again. I'm not a huge fan of massive amounts of space. So I'm going to click on the row, get rid of that spacing. Now that looks pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with that. That's actually not so bad. In fact, I might even just make the font size a little bit smaller. So highlight the text on the right, we've got font size. I might make it 12. Even, yeah, I'll keep it around 13. I think 13 looks pretty good. Okay, so that's our footer we can have for our entire funnel. And of course, you want to put in your brand name. You want to put in your links, things like that. And to do that, it's really simple. Just highlight the text, okay, and then click on the link. And in here, you can put in your terms and conditions, things like that. So terms and conditions, okay, and then click on save. And you can see it's now highlighted. So that's pretty cool. Very simple. So now that we've got this here, what we're going to do is just make it look a little bit prettier before we mobile optimize it. So the first thing to do is go to the first lot of text, and currently it's medium. If I change it to bold, and in fact, I might remove the bold setting and see what it looks like, just making it a little bit darker. Okay. So I'm actually pretty happy with that as it is. So we've made it 18. If you want to make it a little bit bigger, you can too by playing with the font size. Below that, maybe I'm just going to increase this to 40, right? You can see it's had a little bit of a glitch even as a beginner. So that looks pretty good. The spacing's a little bit crazy. So you just play around with it until you're happy. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'll give it a 5 spacing below as well. And the cool thing about this is once you've done your first page, you've basically got your formatting for your entire funnel, right? So spend a little bit of time making it look quite nice. Now below here is the subheading. This is a bit big for me, so I might try 18. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now this image is white, so it's on a white background. It looks kind of strange. So what I'm gonna do is come to advanced, okay? Inside here is box shadow. So I'm gonna click box shadow, and then it brings in the outer box. There's also an inner. We want outer for this example. And then you want to click on that. And I recommend you use these settings. It's really simple to do. So choose 0, 0, 6. And then if you click off it, you'll see it's just got this nice little border around it. And then I would generally go in the color and give it maybe about half strength so it's not too overpowering. So that looks pretty good. You can also increase the blur if you want it to be a little bit wider, like you can see here. But now if I click on another element, you can see it looks really clean, really modern, right? So that's looking pretty good so far. Now I might give a bit of space around this element itself as well. So I'll come to margin, give it say 10. Below also, I'll give it 10, right? So we have a little bit of gap down there as well. And now it's time to edit the button. So inside the button here, if you click on it, we've first of all got our background color. So I'm going to change this to my blue that I always use. Okay. And if we come down, we have got the font weight. So I generally put this as a semi-bold. Okay. And the font text looks quite big. So I'm just going to reduce this back down to 18 as well. Okay. So it looks a little bit more proportionate. Now, if we scroll down, we have got the option to add in the text inside of the box. So I'm just going to type in here, get free instant access. Okay. And down here, we have the action of the button if someone clicks. So we want it to be open pop-up. The only thing I'd really do as well on here is I generally like to give it a little bit more padding on the sides. I just like to fill it out that little bit more. So let's try 30. Okay. It's looking pretty good. So I'm not too upset with that. And now that we've got the button pretty good to go, the last thing I'll do is come to advanced. I'll scroll down here, and what I'm going to do is also create a little border because I like to have the rounded edges. And to do that, first of all, go full border. Okay. And you can just leave it as 1 or whatever you want. Choose the color, which is basically going to be the same color, but we've also got the border radius here. So you can put in say 10, and you can see how it's got this nice little edge around it now. So I'm pretty happy with that. If you want to add in animations for your button as well, people love to put in like bounces and things like that, rocking and all that sort of good stuff. I'm just going to leave it as, I'll just leave it as bounce for now. Bounce looks pretty exciting. So just to recap, let's just make sure one last time I'm pretty happy with it. It looks pretty good. I think we're good to go. Yeah, I didn't think that looks quite right. So let's continue forward. Cool. So the next step before we move forward is actually mobile optimization. So if you click on mobile, you can see it looks kind of funky, right? In fact, it's just the headline text that isn't that good. So what I'm going to do is change the headline text inside of here to something a little bit more reasonable. So if I keep coming down, we'll go maybe at like 4 or 5 a time. Okay. Keep coming down until you think it actually looks pretty good. So I think around here kind of has a good amount of pop. This text below looks a little bit big, so I'm just going to come down a few more just to make it look like it sort of fits in the page. It's all kind of looking pretty good. So I'll scroll down. I might give it just a little bit of margin, maybe 5. Okay, and you can see it's going to bring it down a bit. So that looks pretty good. I might even reduce the top a little bit here. Okay, so it's not too overpowering. I might reduce that actually. It looks pretty insane. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. The button text looks a little bit big, so I might bring it to 16. Cool. So now if we look at this looks like in proportion, it looks really attractive, and the call to action is pretty good. Obviously, you want to spend a bit of time on crafting your offer and crafting what your call to action is as well. But this is more than enough, which is great. So what we're going to do now is click on save, okay? Just so we have the nice save there in case something happens, okay? And then what I'm going to do right now is highlight my heading, okay? And click on pop-up, okay? So pop-up is here. There's nothing currently on it, so we need to add in some info. So add row, we're going to choose one column again, add element, I'm going to choose headline, and I'm just going to paste in my text here. Now I like to keep things super congruent. So if someone clicks the pop-up, it appears, it's going to have the same information so they know it's the exact same thing. You don't want to change the text too many times as it's going to start confusing people. So I'm going to choose the green, okay? I'm going to choose the blue, right? Like so. And the next step is we're going to go click on the orange plus. We're also going to add in just a paragraph this time. And what we're going to do is put in here, add in your name and email to get access to the training, okay? And once again, I'll give it a little bit of padding at the top, maybe 5, just to separate it. That looks pretty good. And I'm gonna increase the font size to, let's try 16, let's try 18. 18 looks pretty fresh. And what we're gonna do now is click on the orange plus one more time and type in form, okay? Because we obviously need to put a form inside of this page so we can collect their information. So drag that in like so, and it says you don't have any forms. Well, it's asking me to pick one. What we can do is we can create a new form inside of here, right? And just for this example, I'll show you how to do it really quickly. So click here for a new form. All right, and we're gonna want to click on add form, right? Add form. I'm gonna start from scratch for this particular example. And I'm just gonna power through this just so we can keep this video nice and short. All right, so what I'm going to do first of all is rename the form so I can easily remember what it is, what the form is for, so YouTube demo. Okay, and inside here, we're just going to get rid of the things that we don't need. So I don't generally collect last names. I don't collect phone. I don't really have consents inside of here. I don't really need them right now. I also don't need the privacy policy. I prefer to add them in manually later if I am adding them. So I've just got rid of a bunch of stuff. If you did need to add in anything like payments and phone numbers, birthdays, if it was like a form, all of the info is on the left. But let's keep going forward. So first of all, on the first name, under placeholder, I like to type in your first name. Under email, I like to type in your email address, right? So you can just click on it. Here's all the info. And I like to make the first name required. That means people just can't leave it blank, or else my emails look kind of weird not having the first name filled out. So click on back. On the button here, I'm going to type in get instant access. Okay, I'm going to change the color, and I'm just going to grab a hex from my page. All right, so here is my branding color, which is the blue. So that's there. If we keep coming down, we've got corner radius. I like to have around a 10. Okay, for padding, I like to have about 15 top and bottom. The left and right don't matter if it's full width. I like to have also Montserrat as my text. Have it a little bit bigger, so maybe 17. I'll keep it 16 actually. Font weight, I'll make it around 600. Okay. Make it have a little bit of punch. I haven't got any subtext, so that looks pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with that for the button. Now what I generally do as well is just to play with the settings a little bit. So click on the settings bar. Down here, I like to remove the label. I also remove all of the padding because I don't like the padding. It also adds padding inside of the pop-up. So it's just like a lot of padding. So get rid of all of that if you can, if that's the style you want to have. So that looks pretty good. We're getting pretty close. This text is a bit small, so let's go ahead and change that. So under styles, come down to advanced settings. Okay, if we scroll down, there is the form. Now by default, it has a shadow. I don't know why it does, but what the first thing I recommend you do is come down and make it into fully transparent. You can also change the border width to 0. If we scroll down a little bit more, input field, you've got all your different inputs if you want to play around with those. I might actually just leave everything and come down to placeholder. Okay, and I'll change that once again to Montserrat. Change the text to, let's say 14 looks pretty good, maybe even 15. And I'm pretty happy with how everything looks. So click on save. Okay, and we've got our form. And once you put it in, you'll see why I've done everything the way I have. So click on forms, and we may have to save the page and just do a quick refresh as we've just created it, so it might not be available just yet. So let's just have a quick look again. Okay, yeah, so I'll just quickly reload this page. All right, so click on pop up one more time, click on the form, and now we have got our YouTube demo. And you can see it looks pretty good. It's not too bad. We could play around with a little bit of CSS if we really want, but I'm happy with that right now. And then the last thing I'll do below that is actually add in one more paragraph and just say your information is kept safe. And what we can do as well, if we really want, is add in a little icon, okay? And I'll just do, say, a lock, right? Like so, and it just makes it look pretty legit. So that's cool. Now, the last thing to do on the form is click on it one more time, and under button actions, make sure it has go to next step. If we don't do that, then it's going to rely on what's in the form builder. So I'm pretty happy. Let's go ahead, click on save. And now let's check out what it looks like live, right? So here's our new page, right? It's loading. There's the image. Click on the button. Click on the button here. Brings up the form. Looks pretty good. If I click on the image, nothing's happening. So I'm just going to click on this image, and under image actions, go open pop-up. Okay, so save one more time. And now every time someone comes to the page and they go and click on this image, it's going to bring up the pop-up. So obviously they know what they need to do to get access to this page. So if you click on it right now, it's going to open up the form. Same thing, the button. So far, so good. Now I may even just a little bit nitpicky here. Pop-up settings, we can actually reduce the width of it as well. So I'll make that small. That looks a little bit better. Okay, very happy. Okay, so now that that is done, let's go ahead and actually build out our thank you page, okay? And hopefully I'm not making this video too long, but majority of the work is already done, believe it or not. So there's the YouTube opt-in. We can go ahead and map this to a domain as well very quickly by going to settings, okay? Just choosing a domain. So I've got here funnel silo. Here's our path. We can put in URLs, tracking pixels and things like that. But I'm just gonna put the domain in for now, click save, okay? And if we go back to steps, you can see we now have the domain mapped, which is pretty cool. So what we're going to do now is click on clone funnel step, and we're just going to click clone step in this funnel, and it's going to duplicate this page. All right. And basically what I would do on the second page, as I'm talking about a free training, is this is where I would actually deliver it. But just before we get into it, I recommend you go to settings on the right. And while we're here, go ahead and change it. So I could just put free training reveals, okay, and this could be YouTube free training, whatever the training's about. Click update step, and now we've got a new step URL and we've got a new title for this step. So let's go ahead and edit this step. So I'm going to open this in a new tab. All right, so here is our template once again, and it's looking pretty good. Now, what we're going to do instead of having just an image on this page, if we are delivering a video training, is obviously delete it. Come to plus and choose in this time video, and we can drop in the video element like so. And under this button here, maybe we want to link them to a product we're selling, or it might be an affiliate product, or it might just be join my group, something like that. And we can go ahead and map that to this time a URL. So this could just be, I'll just put on my website for an example, okay? So if they click on the button, it's just going to take them to my website. You can change the text and everything there. The cool thing about GoHighLevel is they have video hosting, and it's very, very strong. It's hard for people to steal these videos. So what you can do is come to video type. You can choose hosted video if you want to upload your own. Click on select video. You can put one inside of there, which is cool. And what I would generally do, the only thing you really need to change is I put here, press play to watch the video, okay? And that's basically it for the thank you page, right? and go ahead, click on save and publish as well. And then that page is ready to rock as well too. So this is the simple process I really use for lead generation. First of all, I've got the opt-in page where they put in their name and email. Second page is generally where I give them a video, or it could be an ebook download, things like that. And the cool thing about this is once they've gone into the funnel, you can track all your leads inside of your dashboard. I'll quickly show you where that is. And then you can also trigger automations based on that as well. Okay, so here is the dashboard. Once again, opt-in page, the thank you page. If we go to stats now, you can see that we have got where people can go and get tracked. So every time someone views a page, you'll get a hit. And then every time someone puts in the email, and then you'll have your opt-in rate and everything like that inside of it too. So that's pretty cool. If you wanted to learn how to add in emails as well, I'll quickly go through that very, very quickly. What you want to do first of all, if you haven't seen my last video about creating an email template as well as your first automation, make sure you go back. Once again, I'll link it down below, but you can come to this email, come to templates, right? And since I create my master template, I always have this here. I'll just go ahead, click on clone. Okay, and I'm just going to call this the YouTube demo 1, EM1. Okay, and then I just put in usually the title here. So I'll just put title here for now. Okay, click clone. And then this would be the first email of this particular series, right? Let's just pretend this is good just to save a bit of time. Click save template, right? We'll go back, and this time we'll just quickly go to automations, right? And inside automations are where we can set up the trigger, and we can also send out the email. So create workflow. You can choose either a recipe or start from scratch. I generally start from scratch. Okay, so we'll load this up nice and quick. And then you see here we have got the workflow. So I'm just going to call this the YouTube demo, keeping everything congruent so we don't get lost. And once you click add new trigger, this is where you can type in form. And what we want to do is under workflow trigger name, this is generally where I put in YouTube demo form. Okay, and then click add filters, click on select, choose form as, and then you can see we've got our YouTube demo form. Very important to keep all of your assets congruent so we don't confuse them. Click on save trigger, then we can click on the plus like so, choose email, okay? And then inside email, this is where we can choose our template, which in this example is YouTube EM1. Click save action, and that's good to go. I don't know why it's so zoomed in, that's all good. But generally before the email, I also like to put in a tag. So add contact tag. This one, for example, could be YouTube demo, right? And then you click add new tag, and every time someone comes through, boom, they will be tagged. And to keep things nice and neat, I could put add YouTube demo tag, okay? A little space there, save action and email, same thing again. This would generally be, I would type in here EM1, and then it would be whatever the title is. So this one, title here, okay? Click save, and boom, click on publish and save. Now this thing is ready to rock and roll. Okay, so every time someone goes in that landing page now, it's going to trigger the form, which is going to trigger the tag, which is going to then also send the email. So that lead generation funnel is basically good to go. So what you can do now if you wanted to actually sell a product, was add in 2 more steps so you can actually take payment and deliver the product as well. So how we do that is also very similar, and it's honestly pretty simple. So let me show you how you do it. What I would generally do is come to the last step in the funnel. It's already got all of the formatting. Once again, I'm going to clone funnel step, clone step in this funnel, okay? And then what I'm going to do one more time is actually do the same thing again, okay? So I will click clone funnel step, clone step in this funnel. And the reason we're doing this is we need to create a checkout page. We also need to have a purchase confirmation page. So if we come to the 3rd step, we can call this the checkout, okay? Publishing, I'm going to call this the checkout page, okay? YouTube checkout, and click update step, right? So that's the URL, that's the step name in the funnel, all right? So just wait a few seconds. And the same thing for this final step. Go to publishing, right? And we're going to put in here confirmation, or you can put purchase confirmation or order confirmation, whichever one you want. So I'm just going to put order confirmation, YouTube order confirmation, right? And this is basically the steps we need to follow to create a sales funnel. Now, on the last training, I talked about how you integrate Stripe. If you haven't yet integrated Stripe, you can do so in settings and then integrations. And if you want to sell any products, you either need Stripe or PayPal or whichever payment gateway that you use. So let's go ahead and create a checkout page. Nice and simple. Click on edit. I'm going to open it in a new tab. And here is our page that is good to go. Now, what I recommend you do first of all is come to pop-up settings, okay? Click pop-up settings and just make sure disable pop-up is added. I actually forgot to do it in the previous page. The last thing you want is to be on a checkout page and then you've got to opt-in pop-up appear. So just one thing to think about, will save you some time later. But we've already got our footer here, and this is why I like to clone pages, just because it's already created the footer. We don't have to mess around with customizing it and everything like that again. So this time we're going to go to add elements. We're going to choose sections. We're going to choose this time full width as we're doing 2 columns. Okay, so I'm just going to click and drag it at the top. I'm going to choose add row, choose 2 columns like I mentioned. I'm going to drag the heading inside of here. I'm also going to drag this subtext below it as well. And we don't actually need the rest of these elements, so I'm just going to delete them all. And then we've got our formatting already started. Now to add in a checkout form, it's actually really easy. Click add element, just type in here order. And for this example, I'm just going to put in a 1-step order form. This basically means it's going to have your information, the product you're purchasing, and the credit card info all in the one page. Okay, and you can see it's massive, right? So what we're going to do is just turn off a few things. For me, I'm going to be selling digital products, so I don't really need the shipping information. So click on the form, come to advanced, go down a little bit to toggle shipping and just go ahead and click hide. All right. And it's going to hide most of that info. If you want to collect phone numbers, you can also do that. If you don't, you can click on hide phone number, and there's plenty of other things inside of here as well. If you want to have order bumps, you can add them below too. But for this example, we'll just keep things nice and simple. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is just put some information about the particular product inside of the checkout. So generally you want to have an image. So click add elements. This time I'm going to choose image, right? Drag it in like so. And I'm just going to grab an image from the demo page that I showed you. Okay, like so, right? And this is just a mock-up from Canva. And then what we're going to do is basically talk about the product that we are selling. So this can be the ultimate, or the simple, I'll just call this ultimate. It sounds a little bit more salesy. The ultimate 3-step system. Let's just pretend that's what the product is called, right? And what we can do inside of here is give a little bit of scarcity if you like doing it. I know a lot of people don't. I'm going to be implementing price increases per amount of people purchasing. So 4 spots left before price increase. Okay. So I obviously only do it if that's something you're going to implement. We can also put in some scarcity if it's, say, a product launch. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit cheaper than what you'd normally sell it. So I might just duplicate that, reduce the size a little bit, say down to 30, and put inside of here. Total value is, let's just say, $299. Get it for 47, right? That could be just a founder's launch type thing. So I'm going to make this red, put a little strike through, and then put get it for 47. I'll put in green. Okay. And maybe I'll put total value underline. Okay, so there's a bit going on there, but it looks pretty good. And then generally you just want to add in some bullet points, right? So I'll type in here, bullet list. Okay. On the left, you can choose what icon you want. So at the moment, it's just a check. I'm going to choose icon on the right and choose check again, but this time I want like a circle one. Okay, and we'll make the icon green. Okay, looks pretty good. Or let's make it blue just to mix things up. And inside here, you can add in basically what's going on. So, you know, benefit 1, benefit 2, benefit 3 example. And it's quite bunched together. So I'm just going to go to advanced and make the line height a little bit bigger. Let's try 1.5. That looks pretty good. And if you had something like a money back guarantee or a refund policy, things like that, you should probably add that down below as well, as that's always an objection for people that are worried about buying something that might not be up to expectation. So I'm just going to say comes with our 14-day money back guarantee. Okay, make it a little bit smaller. Say there, make it bold. and then we'll add in one more text. And this is basically the last thing we need to do. And just be like, if you purchase our product and within 14 days you're not satisfied, you can reach out to support and get a no questions. Oops, what happened there? No questions refund. Something like that, right? Just to increase that know, like, and trust a bit. Cool. So that looks pretty good. So if we click on save now, and of course you want to check what it looks like on mobile. So I'll bring it down the text a little bit, bring down the text a little bit again. Okay, that looks pretty good. Maybe make that like 18. So you get the general gist of it, eh? Looks pretty nice. Yep, so I'm happy. We'll go ahead and click on save one more time. Now we're just on the last step, okay? So we'll click on back once this is loaded. And to make the checkout page complete, you actually need to create a product. So once you go to products inside here, this is where you will choose the product for that particular page. And this is the one that's dynamically going to be filled inside of the funnel. So if you want to add in a product, just click add product. We're going to go ahead and create a new one. Okay, we'll make this very quick. Click create product. Okay, the product title is just going to be YouTube course. Okay, description can be this is a course about YouTube, right? Just to give an example. If you want to add in a file, you can do so here. I'm just going to keep coming down, no text, just for this example. One-time price, this is going to be in USD right at the top. Good to know. And this price is going to be 47. Okay. Compare it price used to be 299, right? So that all looks pretty good. I'm going to click on save. Oh, price name. Did I put? Oh, that's good. Let's go have a look back. Okay, so we'll go back to sites. We'll go back to the funnel, right? So YouTube demo. All right, we'll go to the checkout page. We'll go to products now. And this time we'll add the product. Okay, so we have here YouTube course, price, YouTube 47. Okay, we'll go ahead, click save. So now we can go and actually see what this page looks like. Now it's got a live price in it. So come to overview, okay, and we'll go ahead and check out the page itself. You can see it says no products, but now it actually fills it out. So if you went ahead and actually purchased this right now, you would get access to that product. Of course, nothing's attached to it right now, so you wouldn't get access to anything, but that's how you would do it. And inside your emails or inside of your automations, you can then enroll them into a course, or you can send out an email with the digital product, everything like that. So if we wanted to actually action that, and I'll show you how quickly, I don't want to make this video too long, but it's already pretty beastly. We could come into automation, okay? And we'll choose create new workflow. And I'm going to start from scratch to save a bit of time. This time I'm going to rename it to YouTube course purchase, right? And I'll go through actually creating a course in a different video and showing about creating the offers for the course, things like that. But let's go and click add new trigger. We're going to call this order. So order form submission. You can rename it to YouTube course order form. Okay. Like so, click add filters. We're going to choose funnel website. You're going to choose YouTube demo, add filters again. Page is, we're going to choose checkout. We're going to choose it one more time, add filter, product is, and we're going to choose YouTube course and click on save trigger. Okay, so now every time someone purchases from that particular order form, we can go ahead and add an action. So if you wanted to put in a tag again, let's just say it's going to be YouTube course buyer, right? Whatever you want to call it, you can add that in, click save. And then the next one is when you can add in a offer. So if I typed in, for example, course grant offer, okay, and then you would have to actually choose the offer that connects to your course or your membership, and I'll go through that in another video. Then that's where you would choose that, and they would automatically get enrolled into that program as soon as they fill out this form. If you were to sell, say, a digital product, you could also just send an email. So the email could have information about the digital product where they can download it, things like that. Or you could grant access to like a group or a community. They've called it Group Insider, I think. Grant group access. Yeah, that's it. So you could have that if they want to pay for, say, a membership into your private group. So all of these options are here, whichever type of product you're actually selling. this is how you would trigger the automation. And then of course, once you've done it, click on publish, click on save, and now that is done. So we're almost finished this entire funnel. It's been a big one. The last step is going to be the confirmation page. So we'll quickly go through this. Once again, if you're going through all of this and it's too hard, I've also got the free template, which has been polished. It looks amazing. You can get that for free. Just use the link down in the description. So YouTube demo, let's go down to that last step, order confirmation, and let's make this nice and easy. All right, so let's go and edit it in a new tab once again. Okay, so here is our template. Once again, make sure you go to pop-ups, pop-up settings, and make sure it's disabled like so. Okay, so that's cool. And we're just gonna say inside of here, let's get rid of this, congratulations, okay, on your purchase, something like that. However you like to word things. And I'm just gonna say, here is your order summary, okay? Delete the video, we don't need the video. And we're gonna go to plus on the left, and we're gonna type in order, and here's the order confirmation. We're just gonna drag it in here like so. And it's quite wide, so I might just add some padding on the left and right. Let's just say 80 and 80. And it looks pretty good. I'm just gonna give some padding down below as well. And what I'm gonna do is duplicate the headline, put it down below, and I'll just say to get access to your product, click the button below, okay? And we'll give that some more padding as well. And now, my friend, if you've followed along, here is your entire funnel done, okay? So you can play around with styling, colors, everything like that. Go ahead, click on publish, and now your entire funnel is complete. So if someone came to your funnel, and we'll go back and go through all of the steps now. So let's actually go and test it out. Here is the opt-in page. Let's go to the funnel step. So here it is. Let's just click on any of the buttons, type in here, Phil, hello plus, 5@funnelscene.com. Okay, click on get instant access. This should redirect us to the next step in the funnel. If everything's working great. So the video's there, we didn't actually put one in, so that's completely fine. If we look at this button, I haven't even put it to the next step, because when I did the lead generation form, it was for a URL. And it looks like the pop-up appeared as well. So let's go ahead and quickly fix that. And this is how you problem solve any issues with your funnel. Okay, so here is our page. Now, if we click on the button, this time at the button, you can see we've got button actions. Let's just go to next step, really simple. Let's just make sure this pop-up is disabled as well and click on publish, all right? We can also do the SEO metadata and that good stuff later. So now let's go back to the page that we were just on. Click refresh, okay? So everything looks good. This time it's going to take us to the next step. Perfect. So here's our checkout page. Obviously needs a little bit of customizing, but you can see our product is there. People can put in their name info, the card details, everything like that. So this works perfectly as well. And then the final step, of course, is once the purchase is completed. And to do that, you can put it into test mode and test out a purchase yourself. For this example, I'm not going to waste too much time doing it, but that is the entire funnel. Once again, if you want my funnel that I've already created, which is a lot more polished, it looks a lot better already, you can get this entire thing down below for free. But that is it. That is my GoHighLevel funnel tutorial. We went through so many things. We created the lead generation funnel. We then turned it into a sales funnel. We've added in digital products, email automation as well. It's been a big tutorial, but if you've stuck around until the end, you should have your own funnel up and working. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want any other free trainings, make sure you check out what is in the description. But that's it from me. I'll see you on the next video.